Hey guys, just a couple of notes about the settings that you can change within Zoom. So this is on the Zoom website, zoom.us. I've logged in. You can see I have my profile, my meetings. You won't see this menu down here on the side, but you will see settings. And then under settings, there's a couple of different things. There's security, scheduling a meeting, the basic in-meeting settings, the advanced in-meeting settings, and then emails and others. So the ones that are turned on or off, they're that way by default. We did that at a district level just to keep security. So for example, waiting room is on by default so that our students go into a waiting room, can't chat with each other until the host opens up the room and then brings them in or admits them in. You don't want to turn that off. All these other things, you can opt in or out of them. Just keep in mind it might be compromising the security, so do it only really with staff. But then there's other things like, for example, we didn't turn on the host video automatically. But if that is annoying to you, that every time you have a Zoom that you have to turn on your video, that's fine. You can leave it so that your host video, or when you start it, it starts with the video on. Participants, that's for the students. So as the participants come in, we have by default, it's computer audio. If you are knowing that you're doing something with outside people, like say parents or community members, you're doing something that would require, you can also have the telephone and computer audio, but by default, the majority of them will be computer audio. We don't have join from before host turned on. We don't want our students to be able to get in there, and a couple of other different things like muting them upon entry, and so on. You can turn off the chat on yours if you want. At a district level, we have turned off private chat. You can turn that on, like say, for example, at a staff meeting or something, you could turn that on. Just keep that in mind. We do have it, though, turned off at a district level by default so that our students couldn't communicate with other students. They still can go participant to host, but they can't do participant to participant. Some of these things, like we wanted to allow co-hosts. Co-hosts have the same in-meeting controls as the host, except for the breakout rooms. And then screen sharing, by default, we have it that all participants, so both students and teachers, can share, but that only the host can start sharing when someone else is sharing. We didn't want the host to be sharing and then a participant, a student, to be able to commandeer that screen. Annotation is turned on, but you can turn that off. It's actually a very cool tool. Same thing with the whiteboard. It allows your students to annotate on it, but you can also, within each meeting, turn that off. So you can leave it on at a global level, but then within each meeting, turn it off. Same thing with these different things. The meeting reactions are the emoji skin tones. Whether participants can rejoin or rename themselves, we have that turned off so that students couldn't enter in on a certain name and then once they're in there, rename themselves inappropriately. The breakout rooms, that is on by default, and you can assign participants to breakout rooms when scheduling, but we're still working out the kinks on that. These other things, you can turn on virtual backgrounds and video filters. These are both only able to be used within the Zoom client, the downloaded client, not on it just totally disappeared. Let me go back down. The virtual backgrounds can be used on an iPad. They just can't use the videos for the virtual backgrounds. And the video filters are only available, I believe, on the Zoom client, the downloaded client. I didn't change too many of these things. I get these emails if an attendee joins before the host, but you can turn those things off, and it just saves it. So yeah, those are the different settings that you can do. The virtual background might be turned off, or it is turned off by default at a district level. We didn't want students to be able to do that. If you want to change your background, or if you want your students to be able to change your background, just keep that in mind. And keep safety measures in place so that there's no inappropriate, just make sure your expectations are set. But you can turn that on. It is not locked. Okay. All right. I think that's it. Thank you so much.